What's up, everybody? Tiffany Outdoors here today. We got some more furniture to flip. Let's get to it. There's the hawk. Before there was a Tiffany Outdoors, there was Tiffany the Farmer.
On a U-turn when possible.
No, we're not U-turning.
Hi. Hi, what are you doing? Hi, Boo. What?
I've already went ahead and cleaned this, so anytime I get a piece of furniture, well, all the pieces that I've gotten so far, what I've done was I've washed it with Dawn dish soap, and then wiped it off with clean fresh water. And I've already wiped these down, cleaned them with the soap, and then rinsed them off with the water until the water was clear. I got the drawers over there. I've got 2 nightstands. They're different styles, but I'm going to attempt to sell them as a set. And this one is the one that's in good shape. This is in pretty good shape. They both have that little rounded curve thing on the bottom, which is cool. This one has a nice top on it. You see that glossy finish? Yeah, that's gotta go. We're gonna paint these. This one's good. This one's in good shape. Took the hardware off already, and I'll be painting the hardware after I clean it. And this is the one that's in rough shape. And these are laminate tops on both of these, so you see this is all cracking and peeling and just flaking off with this particle wood underneath. It's I got to replace the top on this one. Now this one is a lot more squared off at the top. The other one has a little bit of a decorative edge there, and this one does not have that. I think I might go ahead and put an edge on this one. I don't know yet. We'll see. But I've got a piece of wood there, and first thing I need to do is go ahead and take this top off. I've already taped it off for paint, and then I decided I better go ahead and change the top first, and that way I can paint it all as one piece. So let me go ahead and get this top off. The screw head that's on there is one of these squared off ones. It's just a square bit. And I forget what this is called. Is this a square? There we go, that shows it better. I need to look that up. But yeah, that's the bit I'm going to be using. I got this cute little handy dandy screwdriver to keep my hand, because y'all, I have arthritis in my thumbs so bad. So I bought this from Harbor Freight for, I think it was like 17 or 18 bucks. So this right here is going to help me save my thumbs. Okay. Yeah. Yep. All right. Got these pry bars. Got these from Walmart. And let's see if I can lift this up without damaging it. Alright, went and got a metal scraper here, and I'm just gonna see if I can't slide this in between the 2, yep, there we go, pieces of wood to try and create a space. Let's see. And once I can get through here, maybe it'll be enough room to get one of my pry bars under here. I could see that these were stapled in. It's coming up. I want to be very careful. I don't want to damage this because I want to put this back on a piece of wood. Alright, maybe that's enough to get one of these pry bars under here. I'm going in from the back side just in case I do damage it. That way that would be hidden if it is damaged. Let's see. Just very gently. I don't want to force this. There we go. And they pull through, but that's okay. That's okay. Totally okay with that. I'll get a hammer and knock that out. Alright, I'm going to save this piece of wood to measure for my top, my new top. Alright, y'all. So I had this wood left over from my rack that I built in my office for the fish tank. It's a steel and wood rack or shelf that I built. I'll link that video in the description below so you can see where this wood came from if you're interested in watching that video. Alright. So all I need to do here is line this up. It's a little crooked on that corner. Let's try this corner here. There we go. Now to cut it down to size. Now I'm going to sand this. I'm going to start at 120, go to 180, and then 220. Got that sanded to a nice smooth finish. And now is the time to go ahead and fill in all of those imperfections. Like this has a lot of knots in it. I would prefer that it didn't have any, but this is the wood that I have. This is what I've got to work with. So sometimes you got to roll with the punches. I'm just going to fill in all these little divots. There's quite a few in this one because there's quite a few knots. I'll overfill them and then come back and sand it. This nightstand no longer has a bottom, but there's still a few staples here. I'm going to pull those staples out. This nightstand has a loose bottom. The staple had come up some. It's sticking up right there. So I'll knock that back down. There we go. That was easy. The last thing I need to do now is just go ahead and tape off everything. I got one of the drawers done. I'm going to finish the other 3 drawers, and I'm going to tape that off. And then I'll show you guys how it looks after I tape it and get it ready for paint. Got the opening totally taped off and ready for paint. Now I'm going to scuff sand the top with some of this, just a used piece of sandpaper. It's 220 grit. I'm just going to scuff this just a little bit because it's so slick and shiny. And wipe it down, and then we'll be ready to paint. Now I need to figure out on this piece here what's going to be the front and the back. I already know top from bottom. This is my top, and I'm just gonna look this over. So I got a little piece here that looks a little lopsided. So this is gonna be my back. This side's gonna be the front. So I just need to flip this over. I know this is gonna be my front. So on the front, we had this piece. So I'm gonna get some wood glue and my brad nailer. Well, my brad nailer is dead. I gotta charge the battery. So what I'm gonna do is wait till tomorrow. Hey y'all, how was your evening? Hope it was well. Now it's time to continue on this furniture. Let's go. And I'm gonna use my brad nailer. I'm gonna go ahead and do some sandpaper and scuff this up a little bit. And put down some wood glue. The brad nails that I'm using are a little bit shorter than I would actually like. So that's why I'm using wood glue with this. I'm going to clamp these so it doesn't move around on me. Still moving around on me. So a good thing here would be to use some salt to hold this in place. All right, we're good. Alright, and I'm gonna leave this and let it dry. I'm gonna check for a glue squeeze out, which I do have some. I'm gonna wipe that up before it dries, and then we'll move on to the next thing. Alright, now to flip this over, let's see. Yeah, make sure you do it the right way. Do not want to get this backwards. Alright. And I want to center it and get it as close as I can on both sides. Pretty close. I think I'll leave it instead of fiddling around with it too much. Alright. And it's just a matter of putting the screws back in. That looks really good. Very happy with that. That looks good. Quite nice. Okay. Now, to address sanding down the places where I've patched, and then wipe it down, and then we can start painting. Here's a good tip. When you're sanding down places that you've used wood filler in, close your eyes or don't look at the spot to see if it's smooth all the way across. That'll give you a better sense of the smoothness rather than looking with your eyes. You can feel it with your fingers to see if it's smooth. Yeah. If you can't tell where it is, then you got it. You got the smoothness down. Got this slightly dampened cloth. I squeezed out all the water I could. It's just barely damp. I don't want this to get wet. I just want to wipe off the sanding dust. And that's it. While that's drying, I'm going to go ahead and prepare my paint and start painting. I've got a small bowl of water. I might have too much water in there. I'm going to pour some of that out. But the color that I'm using is linen white. And it's chalk paint by Rust-Oleum. Pour out just a little bit of this water because I think it's a little too much. I want to thin it out because it's so hot. But not too much. You know what I mean? Alright, pop this open. Wow. Boy, that is super duper white. Alright, let's give this a stir. You know, chalk paint is so thick. And this is why you don't have to prep the surface. And a lot of times it says that you can do it all in one coat, but I like to do 2 coats. That way I know everything is covered evenly as it should be. And then I just give it 2 hours or more to dry in between coats. Come back, do the second coat, and then a top coat. Yeah, look how thick that is. It's like pancake batter. Really thick. Alright, I'm going to pour a good bit of it in here. And stir this up really well. Alright, my sprayer comes with two reservoirs. I always use the smaller one because it's lighter for my thumbs, because my arthritis in my thumbs, it hurts so bad, so I always used a smaller reservoir. Alright, I'm going to pour this in. I'm just going to fill this up. And this leftover, I'm going to put the lid on after I wipe the outside. So put the lid on, and this will keep as long as it's sealed. This on. Ouch, see, even tightening this is hurting. Ooh, that hurts. Oh, ooh. Before I put on my respirator, I want to explain that before you start spraying your piece, you want to test it on something, piece of throwaway something, and make sure that you have all your settings the way you want them, and then make your adjustments while it's there and not on your project. First coat is on. I'm going to let this dry for a few hours. I've got some errands to run, and then I'll come back, put on the second coat, and then while that's drying, I'll turn my attention to the hardware. See y'all in a few hours. Alright, the second coat of paint has been put on. Now I'm going to concentrate on the hardware, and I'm going to let that paint dry overnight. I'm going to come back tomorrow, sand it down, and apply the coats of poly. And in here, I've got some vinegar and water mixed. It's some that I used before already, but I didn't want to throw it out because, I mean, it's still good. We're going to use it again on this hardware. I'm going to take off the screws. I don't need to clean those per se. So I'm going to remove all of those screws and have just the hardware itself in here. And I'm just going to boil it in this vinegar water mix for about 5 minutes. Boy, this smells strong. Woo! I'm going to dump it all in there. Why not? And whatever's left over, I'll use my funnel, pour it back in a bottle, and reuse it for the next project. Alright, the boiling is done. Now I have this, it's like a nylon, soft nylon brush that I'm just using to brush off all the dirt, grease, grime. That's pretty cool now. And this stuff that's flaking off is the coating that they put on. It's like a protective coating. See all that protective coating that they put on the hardware. Alright, I'm going to clean off all of this. Then I'm going to rinse it with plain water. And then we're going to paint these. The paint has dried. Now it's time to go ahead and start on the hardware. And I'll be painting the hardware a satin black. What I'm going to do is I'm going to do very, very, very light coats on this. You don't want to spray real heavy. Just very light. If it's not fully covered on the first go round, it's okay. We'll let that dry a little bit and then put on another coat, and then we're just going to keep putting small light coats on there and let them dry in between. While that's drying, I went ahead and touched up some little spots that needed to be touched up on these. I'm going to wait for that paint to dry, and then we're going to go over it with a top coat. I'm going to go ahead and set up my sprayer with the polyacrylic and a matte finish. It's a clear matte. Top coat is done, y'all. Now it's time to peel off all the paper and everything and let these dry overnight, and then we'll put the hardware back on the drawers and put them together for the final looks.